Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Karen. Hey.
We're so excited to start our second episode, long distance relationships. Well, loving at a distance.
Yes, in which we will be talking about our long distance relationship, our experience through it, what we like, what we didn't like, all the good stuff.
We're going to take a moment to say thank you to everybody for our first episode. That was incredible, the turnout we had. We had nearly 100 downloads from Buzzsprout. Either you heard it on Spotify, Podcast Addict, and some other streams that I had it out there.
Yeah, we also want to give a huge shout out to Henbei by Megan J, who made this awesome sweatshirt with our logo, and we appreciate it. If you're not following her on Instagram, go ahead and give her a follow, and you can choose so many different designs that she has. She is now prepping for Valentine's Day, so you can always get you and your partner matching sweatshirts.
Oh yeah. Well, what's today's topic, babe?
So like we said, we're going to talk about our experience being in a long distance relationship. So babe, I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, so we're going to start how we met. We met online, right, babe?
Yes.
We, our parents, my mother and her aunt were good friends on social media. So we just had a little mutual friend, added each other. And I think it was Twitter where we started talking officially. Like we added each other on like Facebook and other, platforms. But
yes.
But Twitter was the main one where we started like retweeting each other and like, commenting every tweet we gave.
It was just, when you just it was like a perfect platform to just give those like indirect messages of like, I will put something and you knew like it was for you and vice versa.
Yeah,
so it was just like
indirect.
a very slow intro of like, let's just have a conversation.
Yeah. And then it slowly turned into like, direct messaging each other because we were like, all right, like enough beating around the bush. Let's.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. And then from there, we went to just pretty much texting on a regular basis.
Remember the Skype days?
Yes. We will Skype all the time. And we will fall asleep like Skyping.
Skyping, yeah. We had our laptops up and we just.
We were so cute. We're still cute. But so we met just, like I will say, it wasn't no dating app, of course, but it was very organic.
Yeah.
We just kind of started talking about things that were interested to us and things that we had in common, things that we didn't have in common. So it was very just a natural attraction, I guess you can call it.
We were each other's. We both grew up in a household, that we were kind of our own person, and while everybody was in like this bubble, so we were each other's support.
Yes, you were definitely like I would say almost like my happy place.
Yeah,
you were definitely my happy place.
Exactly.
So, which led to us meeting in person. Now, which did not happen right away after us talking on like through messages and stuff. We were technically online friends, you can call it, for about a year or so. And it was good. We got to know each other a lot. We got to share a lot about our lives and kind of get more personal without having like that pressure of being in person.
Right. There was never those jitters of meeting someone on that.
Yeah, it was never uncomfortable.
Yeah, like you said, very organic, very just our happy place. There was never like an awkward moment.
Yes, true. But yeah, so after, of course, being friends for like a year, just strictly talking online, him kind of knowing about my life, me knowing about his life, which was hectic before we really started dating for both of us. We were planning on actually meeting in person. And like Kevin said, our families were friends, or you can say they're still friends,
Yeah, they're still kind of
but it's
friends.
a little bit different. But our families were friends, and you were organizing.
Yeah, I was trying to come see you because,
Yeah,
and at one point my parents were into it. They were like, "All right, that's fine,"
yeah.
because they never. I grew up in a Christian household, so they were like, "Yeah, you're good." And last minute, I think it was Thanksgiving. I was supposed to come down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't. I didn't go. My mom changed her mind. Really?
I was waiting to use that one. Yeah, it really sucked, which really upset me, and made me question, like, what was the point of
Oh
just kind
yeah,
of having this wannabe relationship? Because at that point we weren't even like officially together. So
I remember that night.
it
I got
was,
mad. I went to
yeah.
Dad's house, and you had like broke it off with me.
Yeah, it was rough. It was hard for me to wrap my head around it of like, is it even worth it? Is it even gonna work out? Are we even gonna take the next step?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like it's almost like my hope, like I got my hopes up for nothing. So it sucked. Like it sucked being disappointed. And one of my, I guess you can say, protective mechanisms, or like one of the things that I do to take care of myself, is I push people away. Whenever I feel like I don't want to get hurt, or I don't want to go through something difficult, I always look at it as like, what's the point? So that was
Very
one
true.
thing that I did with you, unfortunately, which was push you away.
But at the same time, uh, you came. You showed up.
Oh,
I remember
yes.
the
Yes.
day your aunt was like, "Hey, can you drive with me to Richmond?" And I was like, "Richmond?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah. I need to pick up something, and I hate driving at night because it was like super late at night." And she told my mom like, "Oh yeah, I need Kevin to help me drive." And I was like, "Okay, like that's fine." It wasn't the first time because I think the first time we officially met in person was when we were little kids. I think we
Yeah.
were like 13 or 14, and I just went with her because I road trip, whatever.
Yeah. Well, this whole like meeting in person experience really made me realize that if you want something done right,
Do it
just
yourself.
do it yourself. Don't rely on other people because they just ruin it. So to
So you telling
really
me I
give
ruined it?
you to really give you the tea, the way that I decided to go see Kevin in person was really in the spur of the moment, which is not like me. We already established that in the previous episode.
Very trusting.
So we met this. I met these people. You can say they're like friends of the family, and they came down to visit from Richmond, Virginia, and they were getting ready to head back up home. And this was like they were getting ready to leave in about an hour or two. And unlike Kevin, who grew up in a, you can say, very conservative, kind of strict household,
Mm-hmm.
for me was kind of the opposite, kind of not. It was a bit weird, but I knew that I could get away with more. So, with that said, I pretty much asked these people, I'm like, can I go with you? And they were like, okay. I mean, if your mom is willing to let you go, which kind of worked out perfect in like the timing. I had family come from like El Salvador. They were staying in Maryland, so that was like a good excuse. But deep inside, everybody knew what was the real reason.
It's crazy though. You got in this car with people you didn't even
Oh
know.
my god, it was the worst car trip ever. What should have been like not even 6 hours. It could have been like a good 5 hour max. Turned into an 8 hour drive. And I've never been so frustrated with the way someone drives. And it was the most boring thing ever. Now, don't get me wrong. Those people who I really definitely forgot their name,
You don't even know who they are
they were
anymore.
like the nicest people ever. But it's just like, it was boring. So after the 8 hour drive, that should really have been about five, if not less. I was still not in Maryland. I got to Richmond, Virginia,
Yeah,
and of course that's when Kevin was supposed to come
yeah.
get me. which was supposed to be a surprise.
What ended up happening was that her aunt told me, which led to my mom finding out. And then at the time, I don't know if was my mom married already? Yes, I think so.
Yes.
I think she was married. So yeah, my stepdad was like, you know what? I'll go with you. Now that we know, I'll help you drive down. And
Ruined everything.
yeah, it was, what, from Rockville, it was a 4-hour drive?
No, it was like 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was
I don't
very.
remember.
It was not that long, but it was like at 2, 3 in the morning, which makes sense.
But I was so upset that I couldn't go and he went, and the fact that I still waited up for you. I even got you. You were like on this long road trip, and I put on like a button down shirt, jeans.
I looked awful.
I showered. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna meet her. And I remember just laying on the sofa and just kind of like just waiting. I think I sat there for an hour or two just waiting.
We I think it was definitely like around 4 or something in the morning. It was really early in the morning for sure. I don't remember exactly, but you were about to fall. You were falling asleep when I got there, and finally got to his house, saw him, and as excited as I was to see him, I really needed to pee.
She did. I opened the door and I just kind of like froze, and she's like, I need to use the bathroom.
So that was the first thing that I did when we met in person. But after I used the bathroom and we really got a time to like see each other, digest the moment, it was very surreal. I remember, and even now, like right now, I'm feeling like almost like anxiety, like a little like
butterflies in your stomach.
Yes. Yes, it feels I feel nervous.
A little bit of a
yes. But once like we really got to just see each other, hug each other, and it was just like I said, everything had been so natural so far until this point.
Yeah.
And it just felt right. Like that's the best way I can describe it. It just felt like I was at the right place at the right time with the right person. And
it was never, like I said, there's no awkward moments.
Yes.
It was all just, it fit in so well. It's indescribable.
It's really hard to describe, but
it's like we've known each other for years and years, and we just kind of like fit in. Like we're in this, this is us.
You know how people say, like, people believe that our souls had like previous life? I feel like in my previous life, you and I were definitely connected somehow. And we just reconnected in this life. Yeah. That's just the way that I think. We'll get into that some other time. But so yeah, we met. We unfortunately only spent a few hours. And then, of course, I had to go to sleep. He had to go to sleep. We went our separate ways. But we pretty much made arrangements to see each other the following day.
Yeah.
Which
immediately, like the next day in the morning.
Yeah. We were so excited. It was like he didn't sleep. I didn't sleep. We were just ready. So
we napped.
Yes, we napped.
We napped.
But yeah, like the following day is when we started dating, which
yeah, we did.
You can kind of talk about that.
Yeah, she came over. We were hanging out. We just getting over the fact that we just we're seeing each other for the first time after talking online for a year and a half, however long it was. And I said, I don't know why, like you said, it felt so natural that I was just like, let's do this. Like, let's start this relationship. And you were on the fence. You were just like, I don't know. You're like, let's see where it goes. Let's try to wait it out. And I was like, no, like this feels right.
And then I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. Enough button.
I love that thing. Yeah, so then I was like, sure, let's try this out. Let's see where this goes. So I stayed that first time for a good 2 weeks because I even spent your birthday with you. So timeline, we met in person January 2nd of 2014.
Correct.
Like actually saw each other.
My senior year of high school.
Yes. And then January 3rd of 2014, we started dating. So it didn't take very much for us to jump into that decision. But I stayed for about 2 weeks. Yeah. And we spent your birthday together. His birthday is January 9th, by the way.
To Yeah, which is tomorrow, guys. If you're watching this on the 8th.
Sunday. Yeah, I stayed for about 2 weeks. It was a lot of fun.
I remember on my birthday, you came over to my high school, and nobody like they knew I was in like a relationship, but never thought it was like something serious. My
Yeah.
best friend Artavius was, like
It's
yeah,
almost
okay,
they didn't
whatever.
believe
They didn't
him.
believe it, yeah. And when she showed up, they didn't. So my school is very open. For those that went to Richmond Montgomery, you guys know that anybody can walk in technically.
Nothing like my school, my
No,
high school.
no security. There's security, but they're so laid back, just standing in a corner, like near the gym or something. And during lunch, it's an open lunch, so anybody's going in and out. And she just fit in straight in. She just walks in and just hangs out with us. And I was like, yeah, this is Karen, guys.
I brought you coffee that day.
You did. You brought me Starbucks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we had lunch together, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, everybody, when I'm telling you, everybody from his high school was so excited, or I can maybe not excited, but like eager to meet me or to know who I was.
Want to realize, oh shit, she's real, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, yeah, but it was just weird. And then from there on, it was just people just wanted to kind of get to know me, and I'm like, nope, not really, don't want it, I'm okay, bye. So it was a very awkward situation. But yeah, so we started dating. We were together in person for the first 2 weeks that we started dating, which was a lot of fun. He showed me around Maryland. I never really got to know Maryland the way that I got to know with you. And it was a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed it, which kind of leads to the next topic, which was our first goodbye.
Ooh.
So after spending 2 weeks with each other, which was so much fun, so natural, so just right, like it felt just right. We had to say bye to each other, and it was hard. I think that was the hardest thing. And every goodbye that we ever had was hard, but the first one just sucked the most.
I remember being at BWI.
No, that one, remember, I did not fly on that one.
Oh, yes,
I
you're
drove
right.
back.
You drove back.
Yeah, so have family meet me in Maryland from here, and then drove back with them. But we still had to say goodbye, which sucked. However, we were kind of already having in the plan that I was going to come back to see him for Valentine's Day. So it was...
Was it Valentine's or was it the summer?
No, it was Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So it wasn't that bad, but it still sucked. At the same time, we were like, okay, I know I'm not going to see you for like a few weeks, but either way, I'm going to come back sooner than later.
Right.
So we cried. Like, every time we said goodbye, we cried.
I was crying like a little girl.
Yeah. And one thing that I did actually enjoy every time that we said goodbye was that we will give each other notes.
Handwritten letters.
And I love that. That was something that I really cherish. Until this day, I still have everything. Every little note, every little drawing, every little post-it note he has ever made.
The little cartoon comics.
So until this day, I still have that all in a box. But yeah, so we didn't really see each other a lot. We tried. For the first year, we really tried. And it was mostly me going to you.
And my mom, again, that conservative household, she would not let me go.
It was weird.
I grew up in a bubble. So.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, like, we're just mainly we're focusing mainly on our relationship. There was a lot of chaos happening around the time we started dating that pretty much deals with our families. But at the end, that's not something we are discussing. But yeah, so we try to see each other a lot. And luckily, as strict as your mom was, she was the actual reason why we were able to see each other a lot.
She allowed you to come over. I think my sister was just born.
Yes.
Nicole. So you were not only you helped me take care of her because my mom went back to work, my stepdad went back to work. So we would, it was a way of spending time together. We would watch my little sister.
Yes, which a lot of
Oh
people
my
thought that she
god!
was our daughter.
If you guys
Surprisingly,
know
no.
her or have seen the photos, she actually kind of looks like us
When she was a baby.
When she was a baby.
When she was a baby.
Yes. So I see why. I look back at those photos and I'm like, yep, that could definitely pass for our daughter.
But I really did enjoy taking care of Nicole when she was a baby. She was
easy
a really
baby.
good baby.
Yeah, she was a
And
good
she's
baby.
she's a really good kid. I really
Yeah.
do love your little sister. She's pretty awesome. But
She is.
yeah, so because of your mom we were able to see each other pretty often. And on average, I would say we will see each other maybe every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I was in school. So I had started like community college. Really didn't know where I was gonna go career wise, but I knew that I had to go to school. So a lot of our stuff was mainly around my school schedule. But yeah, we kind of made it work the best way we could, and I'm always very grateful that although we had a lot of people that were like thinking we were crazy, and until this day they still think that we're crazy.
They either message us or something. They're like, "Oh my god, you guys are still together. You guys are married now?
Yes.
What?" Yes, we are people.
But although we had a lot of people like that, I'm always very grateful that your family always took me in with open arms, always took care of me the best way that they could. And oh my God, I kid you not, it was so intimidating to meet his family because they're close. They love each other. They're very affectionate.
Yeah.
And then I come from a family that
we want to be in each other's business.
Yeah. And I come from a family where you're on your own. You're on your own. You live your own life where it's like there's no affection whatsoever. And go into his family where every time you see a person, you have to hug them and then you have to kiss them in the cheek. And I'm like,
tradition.
I'm like, this is weird.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Beso on the cheek,
Yeah, but it took me a lot to get kind of adjusted to that. But still, I love that. That was like I felt welcome by your family. Really the main person I was kind of concerned about meeting was your grandma, who.
Ooh, it's my best friend right there.
She's
those
awesome.
that know her, she has no filter, but she is she's honestly the sweetest, most caring person.
I love her. She's what I will want in a grandma, 110%. Yeah. And I'm very, very lucky that she's actually my grandma. You can say she's been my grandma for the
you remember
for the 9 years we've been together.
When she would feed you, she'd give you mountains of food, and you'd be like,
yes.
You just sit there and stare. And her rule at first was you can't leave the table unless you eat it all.
It was a bit rough, but meeting her was very intimidating. Not only because she's so opinionated and so brutally honest, but I mean, it's her first grandson. Her first grandson coming home with a girl that lives 500 miles away.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was like, these kids are crazy. But meeting her was actually not that bad. I met her. The first thing she commented was she loved my hair. She pretty much loved the way I looked.
Hey, grandmas are low-key racist.
She really loved the way I looked.
Yeah.
She pointed out how my hair looked nice, like how my hair was curly, and then how my complexion was light. And then she was like, "Oh, you're so skinny, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, the whole eating thing, I was not used to that. It's like I eat when I'm hungry. You don't have to serve me food. And there were a lot of things that at the beginning were a bit rough, but they're no longer that way. But
she had that old lady, conservative old time where she was like, serve your man. Why is he serving himself? When I was here, the one like serving you food because I knew how much to feed you versus when she'd give you those mountain loads.
And then there's me who I'm like, we're going to have to do some history because I'm not that type of person. I want to be that type of person, but...
We'll talk about gender roles in another episode.
Yeah, that one is going to be very fun. But yeah, so it was... Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, we were long distance for about 2.5 years. And so.
What do you think was the hardest thing about our long distance relationship?
I guess I will give you to say your part on that.
Hardest thing was jealousy. Oh man, I was jealous.
Yeah.
I'm not a jealous person right now. Like we're not jealous, but the fact that we were long distance, I was jealous. It was uh even if it was just your family, even though I know you guys weren't like close, it was just like, man, I'm not there.
Yeah. Well, but I also had a lot of guy
Guy
friends,
friends.
which they were all very respectful. You know,
I met them, they're nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
real
I
nice
I
guys.
understand, and the way that I tried to pretty much, I guess you can say, fill that void or prevent him from being so jealous was I was communicating with you
Yeah,
constantly. We were
you
in
did.
touch. We
Oh
were
my
always
god.
talking. You always knew where I was. You always knew who I was with, and that is not something that I felt like I had to do. I just wanted you to
Right.
know. I just
Yeah.
wanted to tell you where I was, what I was doing.
And then if you didn't, I'd panic.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
but
She's not responding. What happened? She's out. It's 11 o'clock at night and she's not responding, or 1 in the
yes.
morning. I don't know what it was.
And then sometimes I will just fall asleep, but
Yeah. It's me being paranoid.
yeah. But I was like, my hardest, for me, the hardest thing about being in a long distance relationship was really not knowing when we will see each other again or not having control of that. Because
Mm-hmm.
A, we were young, we didn't have a lot of money.
And it heavily relied on you
Yeah.
coming.
And it was mainly on me. So I felt the pressure for
Yeah.
sure to make sure that we will see each other. The longest we went without seeing each other was 4 months because we just couldn't make it happen. And with my school, I didn't have money to like really buy a plane ticket
Mm-hmm.
and other issues going around like at home. It sucked. Like the timing on when we would see each other was never something that I had full control on. So that really bothered me, being the type of person that I kind of like to have things planned out ahead of time. That one was rough. But once I made the plan of seeing each other, bought the ticket and
Right.
things, like I would say that's what really made up for all
It did.
the
Because
distance and the
where we
hard time.
felt, I guess you could say where we felt that kind of like discouragement
Yeah.
of us being long distance, as soon as we had that thing to look forward to, it kind of like it built up that, not anxiety, what is the word I'm looking for, that anticipation
Yes.
of being together again, so that when we did unite, it was just that much stronger. Like our bond just kept growing and growing.
Yeah. Would you say that was like the best part in your opinion about being in a long distance relationship?
I could say that. It's kind of like, it was kind of like working out a muscle. The more you tear it, the stronger it
Yeah,
gets. Yeah.
I see it. Well, for me, I think what I loved the most about being in a long distance relationship was just our communication. Like we were forced to communicate,
Yeah.
and at the end, no one is perfect communicating. I mean,
I struggle with
even
them, honestly.
nowadays,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
But that is something that we got to learn really quick. We had to communicate with each other, you know, fill the gap
Hmm.
of like not knowing. So I never once felt like I doubted him or I didn't trust him. Like that trust just built itself up. It was very natural. Like communicating was super easy. I could talk to you about anything. Like it was
No
so
matter what.
weird because although we were young, but I mean, I had like previous relationships and I never liked to talk about certain things. I never liked to address certain things. It was very weird, the dynamic that I had with people that I previously dated.
Hmm.
But with you, it was just like, yeah, like
No, I get it.
simple.
Like we could be our genuine self versus
Yeah.
trying to, in previous relationships, I feel like I always had to like try to impress
Yeah.
versus I was just myself with you and it was enough.
Yeah. And being in long distance relationship, like it kind of it forced us to really see the ugly in each other, like right away,
Hmm.
and just learn how to cope with it. Just learn how to love it, I guess you can say, in a way, how to accept it.
Yeah.
So our communication was always great when we were long distance. It it was good. I really did enjoy that. And I think that was really what kept it going.
I did.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything you regret about our long distance relationship?
There is, but not about us. It's more about the environment around us. We had a lot of people that unfortunately did not believe in us, both family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
and even strangers, really. We had a lot of people that will kind of laughed at us, I guess you can say, of like, oh, you guys don't know what you're doing. You're
You
kids.
guys are young, and people would put this doubt in our head. I mean, to be completely frank, Diego, if you're listening to this, you even told me, like, why are you wasting your time, or like, why are you investing so much time into this
Yeah.
relationship when it's, you're young. She lives far away. When is this going to happen? But it just pushed me, I guess, to prove everyone wrong, to prove people wrong.
Yeah, but at the same time, what I didn't like about going through that was the fact that, at least for me, I just kind of took it. I was just like, okay, you can give me your 2 cents. It doesn't matter whether I'm going to take those into consideration or not. But I never actually said anything. And I would have loved to just kind of call people out on their bullshit and be like, this is not about you. This is not your relationship. You can just walk out and that's it. Like, go on with your life. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
so worried about me? And when we started dating, we were 18 already. So we were considered, I guess you can say,
Legally
adults.
yeah.
But a lot of people treated us like kids. And yes, we still had a lot growing up to do. We still had a lot to work on individually. But it was our relationship, and people felt the need to just comment on it all
Yeah.
the time.
People wouldn't even know.
And it frustrated me a lot. And if I could go back, I would literally tell every single one of those persons, like, I'm like, just fuck off.
Just
really. It made me so upset. And if I like speaking about it now, it gets me heated because like every single person that knew us just kind of didn't believe in us.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I would say that's one thing I regret about being in our long distance relationship.
Same thing. I regret not saying, speaking up. A lot of people from my mother's church, they didn't support it.
Oh my God, they hated me.
They hated her. Oh, they used to, like, why are you with her? Oh, even the pastor. I remember one time
I was ready to shake
pulled
him.
me to the side and was like, why are you with her? Like, you're blah, blah, blah. He had his whole opinion. And I just walked away from it. And yeah, a part of me should have stood up for it, but I was younger.
And he told me.
Yeah.
He told me. And I was ready to go off. I was going to set fire to this man. I was going to, like, full-blown attack him.
For someone who's not supposed to judge for being a pastor, it was very judgmental.
It was disrespectful. In my opinion, it was so disrespectful. First off, you don't know me. Second of all, who are you to come and tell someone, like, what's right and what's wrong for them? Like, no. Worry about yourself. Just worry about yourself. So I that one I think was the one that like really like ticked the nerve in me. And until this day, I can't see that man in person. I really can't.
Wow.
And I hope he feels the same about me. But yeah, I really do. But yeah, like a lot of people around, like in your church, really didn't like me. Now, I honestly didn't like going to church. I went to church with you because it was something that I did to make sure I was first being able to be part of your life and try to do something with your family, which church was a huge thing for them.
It still is to my mom.
Yeah, so
love you, Mom, if you're watching this.
It was a good way to connect with your family, but I did not enjoy it, and that was the suckiest part of our relationship. It was just like I had to do it because I'm like, this is it. I have to do it. I'm in it to win it.
I'm invested.
Yes, but it sucked. I guess you can say that's another thing I regret was the fact that going to church just to keep your family happy was the worst.
I mean, if we're bringing, things to light, I did it for my family too.
Yeah.
I love you, Mom, but I I did.
It was rough. It was rough. And I'm not saying every church is bad. I'm just saying my experience with that specific church and those like the specific people was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like for people that preach like, you know, love each other and help each other and blah blah blah. They are the most judgmental and most miserable people I've ever met in my life. Like, nothing ever fulfilled them.
It wasn't like that welcoming feeling.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
And you know what? Whatever energy you throw at me, I'm going to throw it right back at you.
Let's not talk about too much church because we'll leave that for another episode. You know,
because that one
that we can go on.
So interested.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So it was. Overall, I think, that was like the suckiest part about being in a long distance relationship. Now, will I do it all over again?
Was it worth it?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
110%.
It wouldn't have, I guess if we didn't, it made our bond this strong. That's why you're my best friend.
Oh, yeah. Like, I love hanging out with you. I love doing everything with you.
The conversations we have.
Yeah.
Like, we can be out in public, and a lot of like when friends and other people in their relationship to talk about them. What I love is that we'll be out there and be like, that person looks good, looks good, looks attractive. And then there's not that jealousy, like, why are you looking at her or why are you looking at him? It's just like, hey, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, like it's just so easy to talk to you. And like, I love how close we are. I also love how open you are when it comes to trying to be part of things that I love that you may not be sure about, but you still jump in and try it. And I kind of do the same thing with you. I'm a little bit more reserved, however.
We went cycling and we did Cardi B versus Megan Thee Stallion versus, what was the other one?
Lizzo. And he was the only man there.
Only dude there. Everybody loved it though.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, like I love that about us. And I think that looking back to it, yeah, it really did make this relationship a lot stronger. And if we wouldn't have gone through that, I don't think we would be together at this point.
I'd probably be in the military right now.
Yeah, and who knows? I honestly don't know where I would be without you. I can't even imagine my life if you were not in it. I don't even want to get to that point. I think I'll be miserable. I mean, I was miserable before I met you.
I don't know where I'd be. You know me, and those that know me, I'm so scatterbrained. She keeps me in line.
I try.
But I also keep you in line.
You do.
You know, you help me come out of a bubble and, stand up for myself, and I keep you a little bit.
Yeah, you keep me contained. You keep me contained.
From, exploding.
Yes. Which is... I do appreciate, and I'm sure the people around me appreciate.
That's why we compliment each other so much. We're definitely opposites.
Yeah, no, it's been a ride for sure. The long distance part was the hardest, and from there, once you decided to move down here, it was not that it got easy, or harder. It was just a different stage of our life. So I still embrace the fact we were long distance for so long, and I still love that. And I will do it 110% over again. I will do it 10 million times as long as I get to be with you.
Me too, babe.
Yeah.
Well, who out there, or have any of you been in a long distance relationship? We kind of want to know.
Yeah. And how was it? Was it successful? Was it not successful? And, kind of share your thoughts about what do you like about us? Like, did you learn something from us?
Exactly.
But, yeah. Thank you for listening.
This has been real fun, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was a good episode.
Yeah.
Long distance relationship. Loving at a distance.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.